90-day fiancé update. Jasmine arrested, Gino very upset. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another explosive update in the ever-dramatic world of 90-day fiancé. If you've been following the franchise for a while, you already know that this show has given us some of the most jaw-dropping storylines reality television has ever seen. But today's update takes things to an entirely new level. We are diving into a shocking twist involving Jasmine Pineda and her partner Gino Palazzolo, a couple whose chaotic love story has captivated and often divided fans worldwide. Yes, you heard that right. Jasmine has been arrested, and Gino is said to be devastated and deeply upset by the entire ordeal. The news has sent ripples not just through the fan community, but also across entertainment media, sparking debates, rumors, and a wave of speculation about what this means for their future together, and even their place on the show. Now, as your host, I'm here to break it all down, to give you the context, the details, the reactions, and the possible consequences of this shocking development. So, sit tight, because we're about to unpack one of the most dramatic updates in recent 90-day fiancé history. Before we jump into the chaos of this arrest, let's take a moment to remind ourselves of who Jasmine and Gino are and why their relationship has always been under such an intense spotlight. Jasmine Pineda, hailing from Panama, is fiery, passionate, and unapologetically outspoken. From the moment she first appeared on the show, she brought an energy that was impossible to ignore. Whether it was her emotional outbursts, her candid confessions, or her roller coaster relationship with Gino, Jasmine quickly became one of the most talked-about cast members in the 90-day fiancé franchise. On the other side, we have Gino Palazzolo, a Michigan native whose calm, sometimes awkward demeanor often clashed with Jasmine's intensity. Gino is known for his quirky personality, his signature hats, and his somewhat hesitant way of handling conflict. Despite their differences, or perhaps because of them, Jasmine and Gino's relationship quickly became one of the most dramatic storylines on the show. Their journey has been filled with highs and lows. We've seen them fight passionately, make up dramatically, and constantly struggle to find balance in a relationship that seems fueled by both love and volatility. Fans often wondered, are these two truly soulmates, or are they simply addicted to the chaos they create together? And now we arrive at the moment that has thrown everything into turmoil. Reports surfaced recently that Jasmine was arrested. While details remain somewhat unclear, what we do know is that the situation was serious enough to not only make headlines, but also shake the foundation of her already fragile relationship with Gino. The image of Jasmine, the strong, fiery personality we've all come to know, being taken into custody is something few fans could have predicted. After all, while she has certainly shown her temper on screen, few could have imagined that things would escalate to the point of legal trouble. Now, while we don't have the exact charges or full details at this point, the very fact of her arrest is enough to spark waves of speculation. Was this related to her tumultuous relationship with Gino? Was it a separate personal matter? Or could it be something entirely unrelated to her television persona? Regardless of the specifics, the arrest instantly became a turning point. And for Gino, it was nothing short of heartbreaking. When news of Jasmine's arrest broke, Gino reportedly reacted with deep sadness and visible frustration. And honestly, who could blame him? Gino has always presented himself as a man deeply in love with Jasmine, despite all the chaos she brings into his life. He has endured criticism from fans, ridicule from the public, and endless conflict in his relationship, yet he has continued to stand by her side. For Gino, this arrest wasn't just another fight or disagreement. This was a public scandal that put his partner in a spotlight no one would want. Imagine being a man who has spent years trying to convince the world that your relationship, no matter how messy, is real and genuine. And then, suddenly, the woman you love is making headlines for being arrested. Sources close to the couple described Gino as devastated and humiliated, struggling to process how things could have escalated to this point. His emotions range from anger to heartbreak to fear. Fear not only for Jasmine's future, but also for the survival of their relationship. And as we've seen time and time again on 90 Day Fiancé, emotional turmoil often translates directly into on-screen drama. The moment the story hit social media, fans of 90 Day Fiancé went into overdrive. Within hours, hashtags related to Jasmine and Gino began trending, and online forums were flooded with speculation. Some fans expressed shock, unable to reconcile the Jasmine they'd seen on screen with the image of someone being arrested. Others were less surprised, pointing out that Jasmine's volatile behavior and emotional outbursts were always bound to lead to some kind of serious trouble. Entertainment outlets quickly picked up the story, with headlines ranging from the sympathetic to the sensational. While some painted Jasmine as a troubled woman in need of support, others leaned heavily into the drama, framing her as yet another reality TV star who couldn't handle the pressures of fame. For Gino, this meant that not only was he dealing with his personal heartbreak, but he was also forced to watch the world dissect his relationship in real time. Now, here's the million-dollar question. What does Jasmine's arrest mean for her future with Gino and their future on 90 Day Fiancé? On one hand, this could be the breaking point. We've seen Gino struggle again and again to handle Jasmine's intensity, and this arrest may finally push him to reconsider whether this relationship is sustainable. After all, love can only carry a couple so far when scandal, stress, and public scrutiny are constantly weighing them down. On the other hand, there's also the possibility that this situation could bring them closer. Sometimes, crises have a way of binding people together, forcing them to re-examine what truly matters. For Gino, standing by Jasmine in her darkest hour could be a testament to his love and commitment. For Jasmine, this could be a wake-up call, a chance to reevaluate her actions and prove to Gino and the world that she's serious about changing. But as we all know, with Jasmine and Gino, nothing is ever simple. Let's take a step back for a moment. Why does this story matter so much to fans of 90 Day Fiancé? After all, reality TV thrives on drama, and arrests, scandals, and controversies are nothing new in the world of entertainment. The reason this particular story hits so hard is because Jasmine and Gino represent a very specific kind of relationship dynamic, one that is passionate, chaotic, and constantly teetering on the edge of collapse. Fans have been invested in their journey not because it's smooth or predictable, but because it's messy, real, and often heartbreaking. Jasmine's arrest is not just a personal setback. It's a symbol of how fragile their relationship truly is. It's a reminder that behind the cameras, behind the dramatic edits and staged moments, these are real people dealing with real consequences. And that makes this story not just entertainment, but a cautionary tale. Welcome back, everyone. If you've been following the roller coaster that is Jasmine and Gino's relationship on 90 Day Fiancé, you already know that things have been nothing short of chaotic. Part 1 brought us the shocking news of Jasmine's arrest and Gino's visible heartbreak. But today, we're stepping into the aftermath, where heartbreak meets reflection and chaos begins to make room for hope. The world of reality television is relentless. Fans, media outlets, and social media users constantly dissect every move, every word, every glance. For Jasmine and Gino, this pressure has been intense, sometimes overwhelming. But in this chapter, we explore how adversity has the potential to foster growth, reconciliation, and even a deeper understanding between two people who have been through a storm together. Let's take a moment to set the scene. Jasmine's arrest sent shockwaves through the fan community and the media. Many questioned her judgment, her stability, and even the future of her relationship with Gino. Gino, for his part, was heartbroken, publicly and privately struggling to process the events that had upended both his personal life and his public image. The arrest represented more than just a legal issue. It became a reflection of the couple's ongoing challenges, communication struggles, emotional intensity, and the pressures of living life under a television microscope. But here's the key. While arrests, scandals, and public scrutiny often lead to endings, sometimes they spark the beginnings of transformation. And for Jasmine and Gino, this moment became a turning point. Immediately following the arrest, Jasmine had to navigate a complex web of legal obligations, court appearances, and public scrutiny. The reality of facing the consequences of her actions created a moment of reflection. For someone as passionate and outspoken as Jasmine, it was not an easy road, but it was a necessary one. During this time, Gino remained steadfast. Although his initial reaction was one of shock and heartbreak, he began to process his emotions with a surprising level of maturity. Sources close to the couple noted that Gino, who often comes across as hesitant or awkward, showed remarkable emotional resilience. He began to understand that loving Jasmine meant supporting her not just in moments of joy, but also through trials and mistakes. Fans watching from afar witnessed a transformation. Social media commentary shifted subtly, from shock and criticism to cautious optimism. Supporters began to appreciate the human side of the story, that people make mistakes, that relationships are rarely linear, and that love is often about commitment in the face of adversity. Gino's emotional journey in the aftermath of Jasmine's arrest has been profound. Initially, he felt betrayed, confused, and overwhelmed. For weeks, friends reported that he struggled with sleepless nights and constant worry. But slowly, Gino began to process the events through reflection and dialogue. He took time to understand Jasmine's perspective, her fears, frustrations, and motivations. He realized that much of the tension in their relationship stemmed from miscommunication and external pressures, amplified by the scrutiny of reality television. This awareness allowed him to approach the situation not with anger, but with empathy. What's remarkable is that Gino began to share this process publicly, subtly, through interviews and social media posts. He expressed concern for Jasmine's well-being and emphasized the importance of growth, forgiveness, and resilience. This wasn't just a public relations move, it reflected a genuine emotional evolution. Gino, once overwhelmed by chaos, became a stabilizing force. Meanwhile, Jasmine herself underwent a profound transformation. Facing legal consequences and public judgment forced her to take a step back from her impulsive reactions and examine her own behavior. It wasn't easy. Her fiery personality had always been a defining trait, but the experience fostered self-awareness. Jasmine began to openly acknowledge her mistakes, taking responsibility for her actions without deflecting blame. She communicated with Gino more thoughtfully, listened to feedback, and expressed a desire to rebuild trust. Sources close to her described this period as eye-opening and catalytic, a moment where Jasmine realized the importance of balance, patience, and emotional regulation in sustaining a long-term relationship. This growth was not only personal but relational. Jasmine began to understand how her actions affected Gino and how their relationship dynamics could improve with intention and care. What once had been reactive and chaotic began to show signs of stability and thoughtfulness. Rebuilding trust is rarely immediate, and for Jasmine and Gino, the process required effort, communication, and patience. The couple reportedly started small, long conversations, setting boundaries and committing to transparency. Every step was a negotiation, a learning experience, and an opportunity to strengthen their bond. Publicly, they began to share glimpses of this renewed connection. Photos and posts suggested moments of reconciliation, subtle gestures of support, heartfelt messages, and shared experiences that signaled hope rather than despair. Fans noticed the change, and social media commentary shifted toward encouragement and optimism. The key takeaway here is that reconciliation isn't about erasing mistakes, it's about acknowledging them, learning from them, and choosing to move forward together. Jasmine and Gino's journey exemplifies this principle. Initially, fans were shocked, vocal, and sometimes unforgiving. The arrest dominated headlines, and critics questioned whether the relationship could survive. But as time passed and the couple's growth became apparent, the narrative shifted. Social media communities, once divided, began to express hope. Fan posts highlighted Jasmine's accountability and Gino's patience, framing the couple as examples of resilience in the face of adversity. Entertainment outlets started reporting on their progress in a more nuanced light, emphasizing personal growth rather than scandal. This shift in public perception is critical. Reality television often thrives on sensationalism, yet audiences also respond to authenticity. Jasmine and Gino's journey became an example of how genuine self-reflection and committed partnership can transform even the most dramatic situations into stories of hope. So, what can we take away from this chapter of Jasmine and Gino's story? There are several key lessons. Love is tested in adversity. Relationships are rarely smooth, and challenges can reveal both weaknesses and strengths. Accountability matters. Acknowledging mistakes openly is crucial for personal growth and relational healing. Communication is key. For Jasmine and Gino, learning to express themselves clearly and empathetically became a turning point. Public scrutiny is challenging but manageable. Living under the lens of reality TV can amplify stress, but it doesn't have to define the relationship. Hope is powerful. Even in moments of apparent crisis, couples can rebuild trust, understanding, and love with intention. The story of Jasmine and Gino shows us that human beings are resilient, capable of change, and able to find hope even in the aftermath of dramatic events. It reminds us that mistakes do not define a person or a relationship. What matters is how they respond and grow from them. As we bring this chapter to a close, it's important to focus on the signs of a brighter future. Gino's patience, empathy, and steadfast support, combined with Jasmine's accountability and personal growth, suggest that this relationship is not over. It is evolving. It is learning. And most importantly, it is surviving. Fans can continue to follow their journey with cautious optimism, seeing in Jasmine and Gino a couple that embodies resilience and hope. What once seemed like an insurmountable crisis has become an opportunity for reflection, growth, and a deeper understanding of each other. Reality TV often emphasizes drama, but Jasmine and Gino's story reminds us that real life is more complex. Relationships endure because of commitment, forgiveness, and the willingness to confront challenges together. Their journey is far from perfect, but it is real, and in that reality, there is hope. As your host, I can tell you that while the cameras may capture the chaos, the heart of the story lies in transformation. Jasmine and Gino have faced one of the most dramatic moments in their public life, yet they have emerged with lessons learned, bonds strengthened, and a renewed commitment to each other. In the world of 90 Day Fiancé, endings are rarely final, and beginnings often rise from the ashes of hardship. For Jasmine and Gino, this hopeful turn may mark the start of a more grounded, understanding, and enduring chapter in their lives together. And so, while the story of Jasmine's arrest and Gino's heartbreak may have seemed like the conclusion of a turbulent saga, in truth, it was only a new beginning, one defined not by scandal, but by resilience, growth, and the enduring power of love.